Hello everybody, I hope everyone's doing good. Today we're going to be making another moss farm. Woo! Just kidding, this is more of a bone meal farm. You could use it as moss farm, but I promise you it will not be good. Now, let's go to get this started. So this can pretty much produce up towards 15,000 items per hour, aka bone meal per hour. And this is how it pretty much looks. I've tried to pretty much use my other design. I heavily edited from Chapman's original Moss Farm design, but I've made it with my own little twist. So hopefully this is considered something of my own design, but honestly, I don't know. I at least didn't look up any tutorials. I was able to look this up. This is more of a reminder of like, hey, this is how I built it. Let's go ahead and build it in the server. So this is, if anything, a reminder for myself. It's not going to be a full-on tutorial. It's not supposed to be, but it pretty much will be. Now, let's go to get started. So the first things I wanted to mention before we actually really did get started is the fact of the items or some of the things here that you see. So the first thing is you can have more than 4 composters, but this farm, I've done 4 composters and I personally like this amount. You can have more or less. Just the more you have, the quicker they might produce over time. You just don't want to go up to 64 because like after a certain point, it just will be useless. So that's why I think 4 is the best. Now, let's say if you want to do more than 4. I would highly suggest doing 6 of these composters. Then do this sort of situation where there would pretty much be hoppers. Where there's pretty much hoppers here and here that would go into composters down below that you can see. I would just block this off. It would be easier. Just imagine there's composters under these 2 hoppers. It would pretty much be these 2 composters. Then add 2 bits of glass or ice like this with the pressure plate on the second one. And then you can have 2 more hoppers if you want for chests or composters or something else. If you do chests after this point, you can rarely get the items from the moss farm. So that means daily bushes, seeds, moss, flowering azalea even. Carpets, right? You can get all those items. But like I said before, this farm does not work the best if you try to do that sort of design. If anything, I would highly suggest go to my last tutorial and see how I built that farm over there. Now, a second thing is, whatever you see as of a light blue stained glass or orange stained glass or glass in general, you can have as a solid block if you so desire. You do not need to have it as glass and you do not need to have it as a solid block. There's only one part that needs to be a solid block. I'm pretty sure at least is right here. Delete the bit where I said that this is the only block that is required. Now, second thing is, whatever you see as of a light blue stained glass or orange stained glass or glass in general, you can have as a solid block if you so desire. You do not need to have it as glass and you do not need to have it as a solid block. Next, I will also warn to those who aren't new or to those who are new to my channel, I might get confused in this tutorial, so I would try my best to explain everything and build it correctly. I as you can see, I tried to do the tutorial again, but I messed up in some areas. Yeah, it wasn't fun. But anyways, let's go ahead and really get started. This should be all the items you need for this build. I will go ahead and build this in survival with you guys so you can see how I place and build things. I will get 2 extra stacks of temporary blocks and that should be all the information I need to give you. So let's go ahead and get started. I did forget one bit of information. For those who are interested, this is the total amount of blocks you need for this farm. And then this is what I'm going to be building the farm out of with this tutorial. You do not need to use polished deep slate. You can use any solid block that you like, along with glass if you want to build out of glass. Water. You only legitimately need 2 buckets of water. The rest of these will be placed. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, we're going to build the item elevator sort of thing that you see there. So the first thing we have to do is place 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like so. And place one more block here. Then place a comparator like so. And then from that comparator, a repeater. Then on the right side, place 3 redstone dust like that. Then right click the comparator to make it subtract mode. Go ahead and place a temporary block here. Then with droppers, go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4 upwards like this. Place a temporary block and place 1 dropper like this and 1 dropper like this. You can keep this temporary block, but you can remove this one and you can remove the one down here. Then once we're down here, go ahead and place 2 observers like this. Then going upwards on this block, place 1, 2, 3, 4 observers like so. Then go ahead and drop right back down. And from this block, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like so. This is what it should look like. Alright, now next what we want to do is go from this second dropper and place 2 temporary blocks. So 1, 2, and the third block, go ahead and place your normal building block. Go delete the 2 temporary blocks. Then be on the back side here, go ahead and place a block like this and place one more like this. This is what it should look like. Then go ahead and place a normal solid block on top again. You can break your temporary block there now. And then go 1, 2 from this block. And then do the exact same thing on the other side. Just like this. This should now look something like this after you delete your temporary blocks. Next, what you can do is place 2 comparators here and here. Then 2 redstone dust here and here. Then you can place your hoppers between these 2 comparators like so. Just like this. Then against the redstone, place a sticky piston here and a sticky piston here. Then on any one of these 2 hoppers, go ahead and place a redstone block. Then not temporarily, what you can do for turning the farm on and off, put a lever here and flip it on. That will pretty much shut off the entire farm. I will say, you can go ahead and put in 7 items in the hoppers here. Since we were already here, and I will probably forget it, to be honest. Now, with this temporary block, go ahead and remove it. We're going to place a observer facing the redstone block. Not like that. Just like that. You can then go ahead and place another observer right on top of that. Then place a dispenser on that. Brain fart. Then above the dispenser, holding shift, go ahead and place a moss block. Then count out 2 blocks from the moss block and start doing the same on all sides. After you do that, go ahead and connect all sides just like this and make it look like a square. After you do that, go ahead on one corner, like where I am, go ahead and do 1, 2 and a 1, 2, just like this. Do that for all sides. You should see that it looks like a deformed shuriken. Now, go ahead and go out from these tips we just made of stone by 1 block, then place 2 obsidian blocks like this. Do that for all sides. Now, I will say, while I'm doing this, go ahead and place down pistons just like this on all sides. This is what it should look like. Now, with a stair, I'm going to be in creative mode for this because it'd be much easier. Go ahead and place a stair exactly like this. Then on the other side, do the same thing just like that. Do that for all sides. It should look like this. Next, go ahead and place your stained glass or any blocks here, a temporary block here, a block here and here, here and here. This is what it should look like. Pretty much on the sides of each stair, this block here is a temporary block. Keep that in mind. Then, I'm going to be in creative mode for this. In every stair you see here, go ahead and place a water bucket in each one. Just like this. Then, one more thing you can do is between every single 2 block gap against the stone here, like this, go ahead and place obsidian just like so. This is what it should look like. Now, while you're up here, go ahead and place down a block on the stair and on the other stair just like this, then 2 more towards the middle here, then 2 solid blocks, these have to be solid blocks here, then place down a lava block on either one of these 2, it doesn't matter, or they both can be solid. Do that for all sides. This is what it should look like. Alright, now once we get to this point, go ahead, skipping the block that has the temporary block, go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 glass like this, then 1 block here, 1 block there, then 2 blocks here, then 1 more here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 glass blocks there. Now, after you're done doing that, go ahead and go up by 1 and place in a full second ring here. Just like so, just like that. Then one more thing, go ahead and place glass or solid blocks, it doesn't matter, on all of these blocks. Keep in mind, if I say glass blocks, it doesn't have to be glass. It can be glass or solid blocks. That's just what I see in my hotbar, and that's what I'm saying. This is what it should look like. Now, once we're up to this point, let's go ahead and place a deep slate block here, or just any block. It could even be glass if you want. I'm just putting that here so I know where this is, or what that is. Then, go ahead and place a dispenser there, and go ahead and put water buckets in each one like so. This is what it should look like. After you're done, go ahead and place a sign on this block here I'm looking at. Then go ahead, and I would suggest putting a sign in your offhand and having your pickaxe or whatever your main tool is for the block as your temporary block here in your main hand. Quickly break the block and place it against the stair just like this. This is what it should look like. Now, one more thing before we continue more, I'm going to completely forget about this, but I got 8 extra deep slate. Just use 8 extra blocks or glass. Go ahead and place it between where the stairs are, but under the stone just like this. This will catch the water from falling and breaking any sort of redstone or anything else you might have around. Please keep in mind that's pretty much important. Now, remember the block we broke earlier that was a temporary block? Yes. So go ahead and place down 3 blocks or glass like this. Then place a temporary block here. Then place another block here, a normal block, solid block, however block. Then go ahead and go from the block you just recently placed, place a temporary block to the side, and then place a composter down below. Then go ahead, place down all your composters like so. Like I said, I am doing 4. You can do as many as you want. Then after you do that, go ahead and place hoppers on above each single one like this. Then surround it with glass, just like so. I have 1 extra glass because there's this deep slate. This would have been replaced with glass. Go ahead to this block, go ahead and break it, and hopefully collect it. And place down a water block against this block here. And then your water should flow this way. Now I will go ahead and say, this looks like it's going up, but if you look at the texture, it's still going to the left, which is fine. The items will still flow that way. Do not worry about it. Now, I will warn, I'm a little bit shaky on this part because I am starting to forget how I built this. So let's go ahead and just get started. So from this bottom dropper that we first placed at the start of the tutorial, place a hopper facing into it. Then to the right of that hopper, go ahead and have a chest or some sort of way to input it. At least have 1 chest before you input items into a water stream or however else you do something. And then go ahead above this part of the chest, the left side of the chest, go ahead and place a hopper on top, then a hopper inside of that hopper, and then, or facing into that hopper, then just go out 1, 2, and then 1, then 1, then 1, then 1, 2, 3. Just like so. This is what it should look like. Then I'm just going to place this. You guys do not have to place what I'm placing, but I'm just going to do it just to empty out my inventory. I'm going to be placing 2 extra chests like this. This is my storage for the tutorial here. Now we are almost done with this farm. I'm going to switch between creative and survival between all the extra components that we are going to do. It might get confusing, but let's go ahead and start. So first, let's go ahead and from this dispenser we placed earlier, place a observer, and behind the observer, go ahead and place a block. Then, with this block going down and diagonal, go ahead and place a block here with the redstone on top. Then do 1, 2 more blocks, then 2 more bits of redstone, just like that. The next, what you might want to do, now keep in mind this is going to be a little bit confusing for me to remember. Go ahead and place a observer here. Then with this block, go ahead and do 1, 2. Then you would want to go up. You want to go up by 1 here. Then go another up by 1 here. And then another up by 1 here. Just like this. Then go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits of redstone. Now, above this redstone, when we what we first place, go ahead and place a block. This will separate this bit of redstone with that bit of redstone. Trust me, it's worth it. Next, place 1 more block with a 4-tick repeater. Then above the upper redstone here we placed earlier, the one I'm looking at here, go ahead and place a observer facing down where you can see the red. Then place redstone on the observer, then on the block above here, then on the dispenser, and trail this redstone all the way to this dispenser. This is what it should look like. We're literally almost done, guys. So, from this dispenser, go ahead and place a... No, not from that dispenser. From this glass block, or whatever block right here before this dispenser, place a block here with a 4-tick repeater that goes into a block. Then go down below and place a block against the block that's next to the stair here. Just like this. This is what it should look like. Then, afterwards, go ahead and place 3 more blocks here. And then place 2 more blocks here. This is what it should look like. Go ahead and place your redstone on all the blocks you just placed. Then on these blocks where I have the light blue stained glass, go ahead and place observer facing into the redstone. So the face is connecting to the redstone like this, just like this. And this side is done. Go ahead and copy on the other side. But before you do, connect 1, 2, 3, 4 bits of redstone, then go ahead and copy. It should look something like this. Now let me double check to see everything is placed correctly, because this is pretty much the point where I completely forget what else we are missing. And I do have 5 extra bits of redstone in my inventory. I just want to make sure it's all placed correctly and we don't have to do anything else. Actually, no, I see what we're missing. So you need to place where these observers are, place 2 bits of redstone here and here. Now, I did mess up on my calculations, I guess. Because I think I'm out of redstone. Yes, I am. Instead of 4 extra bits of redstone left, you should have had 8. You want to place on all solid blocks that are above the pistons. And honestly, your farm should now be completed. It should look something like this. Now, to go ahead and get started, go ahead and just put in 1 stack of bone meal in this dispenser here. Then, with your lever, go ahead and flip it off to turn on the farm and watch it work. As you can see, it looks like it's working. And that will be the whole project completed. So, like I said before, this can produce up towards 15,000 items an hour. The speed that I have it set at with 7 items, I feel like is the best without generating cobblestone or messing up the farm in general. If you want to experiment on your single player or server, go ahead and remove an item or add an item if you still have cobblestone at 7 items. And this should be pretty much done. One more optional thing is, if you don't trust it, go ahead and place 1 more block here. It won't harm anything. It would just be an extra protection just in case items jump out, which I highly doubt it, but it's still an option. Another option I'm pretty sure I mentioned before is, if you like, go ahead and place blocks under every single stone block here, and that will help the items from jumping out of the farm. You do not have to do that, but sometimes I found bits of moss jumping out here, just like the seeds there. That was perfect timing, honestly. So I would honestly suggest it, if anything, so it doesn't get in your hopper line here for your bone meal. I did mistakenly place this observer along. Go ahead and break this observer, and you want to face this observer into that bit of redstone that's flashing. Then you see all these items going out of the dropper. That's going all the way up into this dispenser. This sort of setup I have with the hoppers, how I have it set up is the fact that the hoppers will go into the dropper here first before it will go into the chests. It will look like it's going into the chest first, but as you can see, we only have 1 piece of bone meal, which I'm honestly surprised that we have 1 in there. But majority of the time, they will actually get sucked down below into this dropper. Once this dropper is filled with bone meal, then it will go up and into the dispenser here. Once all these are filled, then it will start being stored in the chests here. So please keep that in mind on how I set that up here. Now, I was doing a little bit of experimentation. Instead of having the chests here and this hopper here, you can replace this hopper to go downwards, then place a hopper below this dropper, and then it will pretty much always split pretty much about 33% of the time. We'll put bone meal in here, while the other 66.6% will go upwards, as you guys can see. So if I put like hoppers here, This will lock up, but this will continue sucking out the extra bone meal. And once this is pretty much sucked out of bone meal, or pretty much a whole stack is removed, then this will start flashing and then it would regenerate in the farm. So you guys don't need to worry about this ever running out fully. But honestly, I would suggest you do this setup instead of the chests here, like how I have it here. I will even replace it now, just like this. And as you can see, this should work perfectly fine. This would just get emptied out, which is 100% fine because we can still get bone meal into the farm and into our chest, but mainly into our farm first. So that is good. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and end off the episode. Or not episode. This is the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching the tutorial. I hope you guys appreciated it. Like I said, this is a tutorial, more of a reminder for myself on like, hey, this is how I built it. There we are. It's now built. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then, well, I really hope that you hit the subscribe button or the like button because it does bring me a smile every day. But I'm going to go ahead and go. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!